Datcha Yacht, the expedition super yacht that doesn't need a map. Let me start with a tease. There's one number that explains why Datcha feels like a different species of super yacht. It's not her length, not the helicopters, not the polar rating. It's how long she can stay out at sea without needing a port. Hold on to that, because when we circle back, you'll understand why this yacht doesn't just travel, it operates. Overview: luxury built for the parts of the world most yachts avoid. Most charter yachts are designed for the easy, glamorous loop. Calm water, warm nights, short hops between iconic marinas, and a lifestyle that's basically sunshine with room service. Datcha was built for the opposite. She's a 77-meter expedition super yacht, about 252 feet of steel-hulled confidence, created to handle remote destinations with the kind of calm you usually only see in movie heroes. And here's what makes that concept rare. Expedition capability isn't a styling choice. It's weight, redundancy, engineering, certifications, and crew. So when a yacht is both expedition-ready and legitimately luxurious, it's not just expensive. It's expensive in a very specific, very purposeful way. Datcha comes out of Damen Yachting's Sea Explorer program and was delivered in 2020. She's built with ice-class capability and is Polar Code compliant, which is a fancy way of saying she's not pretending. This yacht is designed to go where the weather stops being polite. The look. Not a floating palace, a floating statement. Visually, Datcha doesn't try to look like a wedding cake with railings. She looks like a purpose-built ocean machine that just happens to carry a private resort inside. The stance is broad and planted. The profile feels bold, practical, and kind of intimidating, in the best way. And honestly, I love that. If you're going to tell people you're chasing glaciers or cruising through the far north, showing up in a yacht that looks like a delicate trophy feels emotionally confusing. Datcha looks like she could stare the ocean down and win. Key specifications. The numbers that explain the experience. Datcha measures 77.00 meters, 252 feet 7 inches, with a beam of 14.00 meters, 45 feet 11 inches, so she has real width and stability. Her draft is about 3.80 meters, 12 feet 5 inches, which is a reminder. This yacht is designed to cross oceans, not just float near a beach club. She's laid out across 6 decks and typically welcomes up to 12 guests in 6 cabins, supported by a crew around 25. That crew number matters. It's the invisible engine of the effortless feeling, because on an expedition yacht, the luxury isn't just champagne, it's logistics. For performance, Datcha runs twin MTU diesel engines and is commonly described with a cruising speed around 13.2 knots and a top speed around 14.5 knots. That's not about racing. It's about arriving smooth, steady, and comfortable, especially when conditions aren't cooperating. And range is a big part of the story. Datcha is often described with an ocean crossing range around 6,000 nautical miles at an economical pace. That's the kind of number that changes your mindset from "where's the next marina?" to "where do we actually want to disappear to?" Inside the yacht. A private lodge with 5-star recovery. Expedition yachts can sometimes lean too hard into tough and forget guests still want to feel pampered. Datcha doesn't make that mistake. The vibe is more like a luxury lodge at sea, warm, calm, and designed for long stays, not quick selfies. One of her signature spaces is the observation lounge. That sounds simple until you picture the real use case. whales breaching, ice fields glowing under long sunsets, storms rolling on the horizon, and coastlines that feel untouched. Having a dedicated place to sit and watch the world is a luxury that hits deeper than any flashy finish. Then La Datcha flips the switch and reminds you she's still a super yacht. There's serious wellness on board, often described with a Turkish hammam, sauna, and treatment areas, plus the kind of spa details that make cold destinations feel like an advantage instead of a punishment. She's also known for having both an outdoor deck jacuzzi and an indoor jacuzzi option, which is basically the yacht's way of saying, weather can try, but we're still relaxing. And yes, she has an elevator. People don't talk about elevators like they're exciting, but on a 6-deck yacht, an elevator is the difference between luxury and leg day. I'm not trying to climb stairs in boat shoes while pretending I'm calm. That's how you end up breathing like you just sprinted, then calling it salt air therapy. The expedition gear, when toys turns into a whole operation. Here's where La Datcha becomes a true expedition platform. She's built around the idea that you don't just cruise past the wild, you actually get into it. La Datcha is widely marketed with multiple tenders and serious dive capability, including a fully certified dive center and a decompression chamber. That's not a casual detail. That's "we can do this properly" territory, which matters when you're exploring remote coastlines. Then there's the aviation angle. La Datcha is designed with a helipad and internal helicopter storage capability. And that changes everything. Helicopters aren't just a flex. They turn remote regions into day trips. They turn "we can't reach that" into "watch this." She's also been offered with optional expedition packages that can include helicopters and even a Triton submersible experience. That sentence still sounds unreal, but that's the expedition yacht world. One moment you're sipping coffee, the next you're thinking about a submersible like it's a normal Tuesday. Meanwhile, most of us are excited when our phone battery survives the whole day. The money talk, charter rates, real costs, and the part nobody posts. La Datcha sits in the top tier of the charter market. Weekly rates are commonly advertised in the high 6 figures, often around $750,000 per week on many listings, with some published rates showing lower starting points in the low to mid $600,000 depending on season and itinerary, and higher numbers appearing when extra expedition support is bundled. And remember, those headline rates are typically plus expenses. That means fuel, food and beverage, port fees, and the advanced provisioning allowance, the budget that turns the yacht from a gorgeous object into a living, breathing experience. The clean way to think about it is simple. The weekly rate is the hotel, and the expenses are the vacation. Now zoom out to ownership, because this is where it gets wild. With large super yachts, people often talk about annual operating costs landing in the high single-digit to low double-digit percentage of a yacht's value, depending on crew, insurance, maintenance, refits, and how hard you run the program. Expedition capability can push costs up because the systems are heavier duty and the itinerary can be harsher on the yacht. In plain English, La Datcha isn't just a yacht. It's a small company that happens to have a spa and a helipad. Why La Datcha is a modern luxury icon. Here's my take. La Datcha represents the shift from loud luxury to capable luxury. It's not just "look at my yacht." It's "look at what my yacht can do." That's why she's such a perfect topic for luxury living detective. Because the most expensive part of modern luxury isn't always something you can point at. Sometimes it's invisible engineering. ice-class structure, polar compliance, redundant systems, long-range planning that lets you feel safe and comfortable in places that don't care about your status. If a classic Mediterranean charter yacht is like a penthouse in Miami, La Datcha is like a private resort that can relocate itself to the edge of the world. Same luxury, totally different mindset. The secret I promised at the start. So, what's that number I teased? The autonomy. La Datcha has been promoted with the ability to stay at sea for up to around 40 days without a port call, helped by long-range systems and expedition-focused onboard management. That's the real superpower. That's what turns her into a true explorer instead of an explorer-themed photo prop. Because once you can stay out there that long, the world gets bigger. Your itinerary stops being a list of marinas and starts being a story. Quick question for you. If you had the budget for one epic trip, would you use La Datcha to chase warm water paradise, the Caribbean, the Pacific, the kind of turquoise scenes that look unreal? Or would you go full expedition and aim for cold, remote bucket list places like Greenland or Antarctica? Drop your answer in the comments because I read those, and the best ones usually shape future videos. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit like so YouTube knows you want more luxury yacht breakdowns, subscribe for weekly tours through yachts, jets, mansions, and high-end tech, and consider joining the channel for members-only extras. And if you want to support the next investigation directly, Super Thanks helps more than you'd think. It's basically the fuel that keeps the luxury living detective work rolling.